Abe, did you know before you were born, I used to sell for Lexus, and the GX was one of the most popular vehicles I used to sell. Back then it had a V8, and they would top out around 60, low 60s, maybe 61, $62,000. Can you believe that the GX now, this one can fetch over $80,000, and it has no longer a V8. Today we're gonna review it, but stay to the end. After we're done reviewing and driving it, we're going to look for deals if there are any in my area, but also put on the spreadsheet against all the cars I've reviewed in 2025. Is the Lexus GX a much better vehicle than what it used to be now that it costs a lot more? Or is there another body on frame SUV that I would much rather have for less money than this Lexus GX? No longer V8s like the old GX 470 or the GX 460. This is a twin turbo V6, which has more power, more torque, around 350 horsepower, about 479 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed auto. It's full-time 4x4. Unlike the Land Cruiser J250 that we also get in America, this does not have a hybrid in the US quite yet. However, the GX can be had in other markets with that 2.4 four-cylinder turbo hybrid setup. All right, I'm seeing 17 miles per gallon this week with this GX. So just because it went smaller displacement, more power, more torque with this boosted engine instead of a V8, it doesn't really get better fuel economy. I mean, maybe like 1 or 2. It's not really that much more. And it probably doesn't help with these big tires, right? But this is the standard powertrain in the United States. It is a little bit detuned compared to the Lexus LX 600's twin turbo V6 as well. This week, since I've had this vehicle, previous model year, some of those were put under recall for this twin turbo V6. I don't remember the old V8s having recalls, but maybe that was before my time. So if we look at the styling of the GX, I mean, yes, they've kind of, compared to the last generation, they've really condensed the grille. I think it looks amazing. This is one of the best looking body on frame SUVs on the market. You might think in some ways it could look better than even the J250 Land Cruiser, or the, you know, even better than the Broncos out there, potentially. All right, it's got such a unique look up front. I love the Lexus L motif. Some people thought I was saying L motif, but yeah, it's a play on words. Anyways, Lexus L here on the daytime running lights. Still, the triple beam LED headlights are standard. We have this awesome nori green pearl, which debuted when I was working for Lexus on the GX the UX back in the day. All right, do we have any skid plates under there, Abe? Yeah, we do have a little skid plate. We have a couple of recovery points down there as well. You can see these big chunky tires. So what do you say we get to the side and check this big truck out from the side? Yeah, that's the camera. This is the 360 camera here, all right, which has come standard on the Overtrail. There are 2 Overtrail trims, this being the Overtrail Plus trim. All right, Abe's pointing out the running boards here, which I think this is an accessory here on this Overtrail Plus trim. Also, this roof rack up here, which looks amazing. And these 18-inch wheels are accompanied by 33-inch all-terrain tires, which look pretty cool. I love the black handles here, the blacked out chunky side mirrors. Love how they just didn't take these out of the Toyota parts bin, even though this does share, I'm pretty sure, with the Land Cruiser J250. They look awesome. They look right at home here. You also have this little cornering lamp on the side, which is nice for driving this thing at night. You got some turn indicators here on the side mirror as well. Full-size spare tire underneath the back, underneath the vehicle as well, like the old GX. My wife loves the design of this vehicle. Every time she looks at it, she's like, man, why can't we have something like this? Well, it's $80,000. Not everyone can have a GX 550 Overtrail. Abe's into my backpack by the Z over there, but yeah, this is a big departure. He found a pen. This is a big departure from the GX's brother, which the Land Cruiser has kind of like these big blocky lights. This has a more, yeah, you have a cool competitor, thou shall not be named, competitor's pin here. And this is going to be now because it has a stylus little dot here, this is going to be my pointing out. So we got the turn indicators here, GX 550 badge. Now the glass does lift up like the old GX, which I'm a huge fan of. Love it so much. Maybe not as cool as like the glass on the 4Runner, you know, with the flick of a switch that rolls down. That's a great mount. Yeah, he understands mounts. He likes mounting suction cups on everything. Let's not forget that there, okay? But yeah, love this. Oh, is that closed? There it goes, it closes. This cover here looks a lot better than the Land Cruiser's rear hitch cover. This thing can also tow an insane amount of weight in some configurations, I think over 9,000 pounds, all right? We also have parking sensors in the back. There goes the suction cup. Oh yeah, it fell off. That's okay, it's just a suction cup. Abe, do you want to get in the back for scaling? None of the Overtrails have a third row of seats, but as a result, it's overtrailing. So overtrail, you think, hey, I'm gonna put all my accessories, my fridge, all my extra tools, whatever it is, your camping supplies, in the back, all right? So Toyota and Lexus deleted the third row of seats here. And they do that in the Land Cruiser as well in the United States. You cannot get the Land Cruiser in the US with a third row. Quite bizarre, but the hybrid kind of makes it awkward because the battery pack's real high. All right, we have a compressor here on the side, which is pretty cool. Compressor kit for all your cables and whatnot. Abe's kind of sitting in front of where the, what do you call it, the cup holders are. We do have cup holders in the third row without a third row of seats because it is originally designed to have a third row. Handles, even we have handles above. That is ridiculous. We have handles above. I don't know if that's going to pick up on the camera. I love how the rear windows are really big here because outside of the Overtrail trims that do have the third row seats, having a big third row window is great for reducing car sickness. Yes, he figured out the buttons. He already figured out how to turn on the compressor. Go figure. All right, we do have some nice ambient lighting here, and I want to say the J250 Land Cruiser also puts lights on top of the hatch, which I don't see that here, surprisingly. Now, if I come to this side, we have 400 watts of power accessory, which is a lot less than what's seen in the hybrid J250, which is like 2,400 watts. So 400 watts is good, don't get me wrong, and you can charge your stuff in the back. Let's say you take batteries with you, your Jackeries or whatever, not sponsored, but you know what I'm saying. All right, but it's not the 2,400 watts. So in some ways, the hybrid might be a little bit better, meaning the J250 Land Cruiser US stateside than the GX in some ways, at least with accessory power. But let's go ahead and get in the second row. What do you think? Try to turn it off. There we go. Let's get in the second row. We've been taking AB's sissies to school this past week or so with the GX. You know, even though we don't have running boards here, we kind of have these sliders at the bottom. Hey, let's not touch the camera, please. We also have window he just wants up. Okay, we have window shades back here, kind of a fake wood, soft-ish touch materials, Mark Levinson sound system here, which I want to say the Mark Levinson he's going into the front seat. He knows he's going to probably be honking the horn here in a little bit. He knows how to turn cars on too. He knows that they're all push button. So easy for kids nowadays to turn on cars. Anyways, no running board, so it is a little bit of a jump for the kids to get into the back seat. However, I do like this back seat. I like these all-weather mats as well. Great headroom, go figure, it's a boxy vehicle. I don't have a panel roof on the Overtrails, which makes sense if you're going to be putting racks above. You know, you don't need... Is it this? Is that what you wanted? You want the pen? Okay, hopefully he doesn't click it and expose the ballpoint. All right, so, oh, he's storing it in the door handle. We have vents back here, a pretty mild drivetrain hump, to be honest, not too big. A couple USB-Cs, and this Overtrail Plus grade, I almost said premium, Overtrail Plus has heated outboard seats here. He knows how to put it into drive already. He's with the shift lever here. All right, we just got out of the Z and he was playing with the shifter already, go figure. All right, huge 14-inch screen, that is standard, as well as this 12-inch screen back here. Now, strangely, this 12-inch screen, which I tested in many other Toyota Lexus models, it doesn't let me adjust it while I'm driving anymore. Oh, geez. That was really loud. Oh, yeah, you can turn it off. You want to turn off the truck? You won't be able to move the steering wheel if you turn it off. Oh, you turned it off. Okay, so the steering wheel recessing, it's got that smart access. The seat will do it too if it's programmed for that. All right, you want to turn it back on? Harder, press it. There you go. There you go. Nice job. You feel that V6 turn on? Speaking of the speaking of the V6 turning on, this engine does idle roughly sometimes. Like right now I don't really notice it. I feel it more when I'm in drive and I have my auto brake hold on. Okay, well it's not letting me put auto brake hold on right now because my seatbelt isn't on. The old V8s had a much smoother idle. This thing, it's not luxurious. This is a statement piece of a vehicle that is beautiful. It has a Lexus emblem, but really it's not luxury like the old V8. The old V8 GX drives so smooth. You know, this handles a lot better, like way better than the old GX, and the brakes are better, the acceleration's better. It doesn't sound as good, and it doesn't idle as well. And the fuel economy is almost a wash, at least on this Overtrail trim. All right, so like the GX is no longer like this. I almost say hi. Yeah, it's not like a stealth wealth vehicle anymore. You look at it and you're like, oh shoot, you know, that looks like an expensive vehicle on the outside. You get on the inside, it's not as nice as old GX. The old GX would have wood, depending on the model year. They got cheaper over time, but they had nice wood here, nice wood on the shifter. Well, that they started stripping that out at the end of the life cycle of the old GX, the wood trim. They even had it on the dash, for example. Now, even though the materials are okay in here, soft touch, it doesn't look that nice. These seats are very comfortable, and this Overtrail Plus does have the massaging seats. If you get the standard Overtrail, it does have standard seats that have ventilation. The massaging seats are frustrating in the GX. Like, look at this. Okay, let's say I'm on my navigation, which I don't have my Android Auto plugged in right now, but anyways, let's say I did. All right, you would have to go to the car icon, assuming you can get to it from Android Auto. Oh, he's also discovered how to mess with the windows. Anyways, so you go to the car icon, you go to seat controls. There's only one setting in seat controls, massage. Then you have to pick which seat you want up front to massage. Let's do the passenger. And then you click power. You want to do power? You want to click that, Abe? Yeah. How come your finger doesn't work? Why is my finger not working either? I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me turn it on, maybe because someone's not sitting over there. That's kind of weird. Let's try my seat. Yeah, it's because there's a sensor over there and it won't go and close this. Okay, touch climate control. Climate control is all touchscreen. So even though it's a 14-inch screen overall, only 12 inches of it are usable for like navigation, that sort of thing. All right, good thing there's a child lock in here. You have to press the button down to be able to shift. And I could probably get my foot off the brake, all right, which would you can't use the rear locker here, Abe, unless we're in, I think, neutral. So and maybe 4 low. Okay, so Abe, let's go ahead and put it into neutral. Okay, and then let's try to put the center lock on. You know, the lockers, and we'll put the rear locker on too. You got to be in neutral to put it into 4 low. The center lock is now on. And you know, we have this cool trail cam as well, which I think is amazing. This is the same trail cam that I just saw in the Overtrail new RAV4. Okay, it's great that you can get this technology in a much cheaper vehicle like the RAV4 as well. This has much better approach and departure angles, much better ground clearance than something like the RAV4. And you know, the RAV4 still surprised me with how well it can off-road. All right, but let's put it into park here. And I got to remember to take off the center lock. Anyways, yeah, the center and rear locks here are on the Overtrail. I think it's just the center lock on the non-Overtrail models. He's also playing with the multi-train select, which you can have multi-train select now and 4 high. Auto brake hold in here is fantastic. It is not memory, and you have to reinsert it every time you get back in the car. But I do like having these physical buttons here. You have these paddle shifters here for the 10-speed automatic transmission, which is an upgrade from the old 6-speed automatic. A couple cup holders here, a wireless charger. I do have a head-up display. It's really low. I love how upright this windshield is, but it does have its drawbacks, as you'll find out when we start driving. But the head-up display is fine. I like taking out all the additional information and just keeping it to speedometer here, because it's not, the font's real small. It's real low. It's not like in my direct line of sight. I have to look quite a bit down, and at that point I might as well just look at my MID for my speed. So What else? I have memory seats on this side. I have 4 auxiliary connections here, which is amazing. You're going to have that on the Overtrail. And I also have control for my rear hatch and AC 120 volt there. All right. Secret hidden compartment here inside of this. We have a felt lined glove box, or center console there, I should say. We have handles on each side and above. So you have double handles, which is pretty cool. And the materials here on the front, yeah, are pretty so-so, to be honest, just like they were in the back seat. So it's a very boxy, a very utilitarian interior. Luckily, I still have a volume knob. My goodness, that's getting hard to find nowadays in cars, seemingly, is volume knobs. We have a volume knob here. I have climate control knobs. It's not ideal climate control, but it's definitely usable. Okay, look, even Abe can figure out how to use this climate control, the volume control knob, all this stuff. So, intuitive interior. Again, physical buttons are better, like in the normal Land Cruiser, the Toyota Land Cruiser, instead of this GX, which again, they're like the same vehicle, just different styling. The Lexus variant skips the physical climate control for digital, which again, it's much better, I think, overall in the standard Land Cruiser. Man, he's cranking the AC in here. Did he turn the hazards on as well? Of course he did. All right. And he turned on the ventilated seats here. So let's turn that off. So anyways, let's go ahead and start driving. I'm going to leave Abe home. Cassie's going to be home. She's working out right now. So that's why Abe is with us for this walk around. But let's go ahead and leave him with Mom when she gets home. And we'll go and take the GX for a ride. At least Daddy will by himself. So yeah, anyways, he's making engine noises already too. All right, we'll see you guys on the drive. Stepping into the GX, one of the first things you're gonna notice is that it's really high off the ground, and that's what a lot of people want when you're buying something like this. This Overtrail anyways has an additional inch of ground clearance. And let's get on the road. Again, the 360 camera is great in here, AKA the trail cam. The steering's really light and smooth feeling. Which is a little bit different than the old GX. The old GX maybe a little bit heavier steering because it had hydraulic steering. Oh, I am still low, and still too low. Let's go ahead and put this into too high. Okay, thanks, Abe. Immediately when you drive the new GX, it is nothing like the old GX. Like, it is firm feeling, like the solid rear axle is definitely evident. It has quite a bit of jitter coming through the body. I wouldn't call it luxury whatsoever. It feels utility, it feels quality, it feels durable, but it doesn't feel luxury. It's not ungodly smooth. You don't feel like you're floating on a cloud. I do really like the visibility in the GX. Huge rear window. I don't have a digital rear view mirror. I think you can get that on like the Luxury Plus trim, for example. The windows are big, squarish, easy to see out of. As I get into the brakes, I have no issues with the brakes of the GX. That's a huge upgrade over the last GX. The previous GX had such a weird, squishy brake pedal, and you can literally hear the squishiness of the brake pedal. But yeah, just accelerating, keeping up with traffic. Like, this is a stout engine. It feels proper at home. As much as on paper and just in premise, like the Tundra has more power compared to this Lexus, okay, even though it's the same twin turbo V6, as much as that kind of bothers me, in normal driving, I never feel like I'm lacking for power or torque. Like, pedal down halfway, downshifts a couple gears, and it's a really fat, torquey engine and response, and I really like it. So like I said, I'd rather have this engine than the hybrid in the standard Land Cruiser. It sounds better, it feels better, there's more performance here, just not quite as good fuel economy. All right, maybe down 3-4 miles per gallon on average, which is a lot when you're going from like 20 to 16 or 21 to 17. Okay, now the GX is strangely quiet and strangely not quiet. This roof rack system is really loud. Now I know it's kind of like a dealer add-on, like it's an accessory, but the GX and the Land Cruiser, both of them are pretty loud once you're up to speed on the highway. Like this gets loud at 45, 50 miles an hour, and most of it's coming from the roof rack accessory up top. So you know, just keep that in mind, that as much as it looks amazing, it makes for a very loud experience, even when you're not going that fast. Okay, I get very little road noise from these all-terrain tires, which is impressive. So Lexus has done a lot of sound dampening underneath the vehicle to make it Lexus-like in that regard. All right, I don't get that, even though this Titan next to me is pretty loud, I don't get a lot of noise coming in through the acoustic glass here. Now, when you do take these on the highway, 80 miles an hour, this upright sort of, you know, boxy cabin can get loud as well. Then yeah, you add the roof rack on here is on top of that, and it's going to be a loud highway vehicle. But driving in and around town, I think it's okay. And I do remember driving a Defender last year, and the Defender was smoother, quieter, better ride quality. I know the Defender is unibody, but the Defender had so much more character and just a better performing powertrain. And the materials were, I think, even a little bit better in the Defender. So that's another vehicle I forget to compare this to at the end. But that's something you might want to look at if you're looking at this GX as well. Let's look at a Land Rover Defender. That has a silky smooth inline 6 engine and a mild hybrid, and fuel economy is noticeably better on it, and overall power output I think has this beat as well. Okay, this doesn't really feel like a Lexus, but people oftentimes buy a luxury brand because of the badge that it affords them, that status, and I get it. You know, it doesn't feel that much different than the Land Cruiser. In fact, the Land Cruiser does some things better, like the climate control, for example. And some people might like the styling of the Land Cruiser better, or have that Land Cruiser badge. They'd rather have that than a Lexus badge. It just depends. It's good to have options, right, from the Toyota Lexus lineup. So I really like the GX. There's not too many bad things to say about it. Just know that it's nothing like the old GX, other than being high off the ground, body on frame. That's kind of where the similarities end. So let's get back into the office. Let's cross shop it, and then let's also put it on the spreadsheet. How good is it compared to every car I've driven so far in 2025? All right, we're going to look for Lexus GX deals in my area, and I got bad news for you guys. There's a huge wait list for these things. Getting your hands on one is very difficult. There's only 133 in Southwest Florida here, and let me tell you the demand. And look, like that's not 133 available. That's 133 in transit, because look, these are all placeholder images. There are literally no GXs available on the ground, at least where I live. It's few and far between. So it is going to be hard to get your hands on one of these, and under MSRP, you can pretty much forget about it. What about, let's say, the 4Runner? The 4Runner, the only one I can recommend is a SR5, because for low 40s, it's a good buy. Anything more, well, you're better off getting other stuff, in my opinion, because it's just not a very good deal. Now, you can get GXs, in theory, for this in below 60s still, for what is it, the premium build. Well, not even the low 60s anymore, upper 60s. Yikes, these things have gotten so expensive. All right, what about the Land Cruiser? Should you just get a Land Cruiser instead? Well, let's see what Land Cruiser availability is like right now. Not Highlander hybrid, sorry, Land Cruiser. Only 76 available. Let's go and uncheck 4Runner here. Tons of 4Runners available. Tons of them. Okay, so Land Cruiser, which, I mean, that's the thing. The 4Runner is so ugly. That's why a lot of people, that is just, they want a cool and capable SUV. The 4Runner doesn't look good, in my opinion. I think it's butt ugly from the front. It's just, it's unfortunate, because it's such a good vehicle otherwise. the Land Cruiser looks so much better, right? This is the Toyota version of the vehicle I just reviewed today. And these are a lot cheaper. Now, I know the EKDSS is amazing, and it's great to have that on the J250 GX, but hey, you can get this too. But the thing is, the powertrain is so much better, in my opinion. Twin Turbo V6 is better than this hybrid. However, ironically, the Twin Turbo V6 variants are getting recalled for engine debris and potential failures, where the hybrids, which seemingly are more complex, no, these are actually the more reliable ones. They're just not as good. They're not as refined. The transmission's not as good on it. And in fact, the 4Runner drives really, really well. But the 4Runner in most cases is part-time 4x4, where the Land Cruiser and the GX are full-time 4x4. There are trims of the 4Runner that are full-time, but they're very expensive trims that are full-time 4x4. Get the design you like best. And if you need to go off-roading all the time, then the Overtrail and the KDSS equipped GX is going to be awesome. And the V6 is better than this turbo 4-cylinder in daily driving. And as much as I like the GX and as good as it is, this is a better vehicle. The Armada is amazing. The Armada has a better powertrain, more reliable powertrain in theory, right? It hasn't been recalled. A big twin turbo V6 with more power, 400 plus horsepower, tons of torque. This thing is a shrunken down GTR engine, it feels like when you drive it. It's just so stout. It's incredible. It idles smoother. It gets, well, this is a bigger vehicle, just slightly bigger than the GX that I drove today. It gets better fuel economy, at least in my test. Not much. It's, it's not great. It's not great, but it's not, I wasn't seeing 16, 17 miles per gallon. Look, $60,000. $60,000. What about, okay, since we're talking about an Overtrail model that I reviewed today, what about the Pro 4X? The Pro 4X is just as capable off-road as this GX, but it's bigger, more power. And some of you are saying, oh, it's a Nissan. I can't live with the Nissan badge. I get it. You want to show to your friends that you drive a Lexus. I'm telling you, the Lexus is not as good of a vehicle, nowhere close, still good. This is elite. The Armada Pro 4X. Hey, if you're like, hey, well, I want something nicer than a Nissan badge, then go get the Infinity badge. The Infinity version of this, the QX80, is amazing. Okay. And I'm not a badge snob. I don't care. I like the Armada. I think it's an amazingly capable and amazingly beautiful and well-designed vehicle, and it rides and it drives better than the Lexus and the Land Cruiser too. If you're looking at a GX and you can't get one, look at an Infiniti QX80. Look at a Nissan Armada. They are elite. That kind of lets you know what my opinions are. I think this is great. I think it's really good. Now, it's got so dang expensive. I think the cons at this point is that it's just got so expensive for what it is. All right. And I would much rather have Nissan or Infiniti product at this point. I can't believe I'm saying that because that wasn't the case 5 years ago. Okay. When these vehicles had V8s. All right. But twin turbo V6 Nissan has been doing forever. Okay. They've been doing twin turbo V6s since the 80s or the 90s. And so, their expertise with the twin turbo V6 and something like the GTR lets you know how capable and how good that twin turbo V6 is in the Armada and the QX80. So here are the things. All right, GX, it's A tier. I really like it. It's just so expensive. Stunning exterior, EKDSS. It's the only body on frame Toyota in America that you can get EKDSS on, which is electronic kinematic. I'm gonna butcher it. I'll put it on the screen. All right. It's the ability to electronically unlock the stabilizer bars front and rear while you're driving, and it does it all intelligently. So you get more wheel articulation while doing off-road stuff with EKDSS. It's amazing. Anyways, it has good torque, really good torque, not as good as a Nissan or the Infiniti, but incredible torque, good towing capacity, good power. I like the powertrain in here. The automatic is a little, maybe a little, not as crisp as I would like it to be. I need to put rough idle in here for the cons. The cons, it's gotten so expensive. No physical climate control, not a huge deal because Abe figured it out real quick. 17 miles per gallon, not great, but when you have 80K to drop on a Overtrail, who cares? Or you're just going to have to be going to the gas station often, which is not, and it requires premium, by the way, which is silly because this setup is detuned for compared to the Tundra, and the Tundra requires 87. It's just weird. I don't get it. Anyways, and the idle is rough, and that's not luxury. Oh, and also maybe the cons, like materials, so. They're not terrible, and they shouldn't be terrible, but I've like the Nissan Z that I'm driving also this week. You've seen it in the background at times. The Nissan Z has a better interior. Okay, so let's take this out. Where would I put it? Where's the Land Cruiser? Because I think the Land Cruiser also made it an A tier. Land Cruiser Premium. What do I think? I think it's better than the Land Cruiser just from the twin turbo V6. It's more enjoyable to drive. I still had more. I don't know. The 4xe Willys, I know it's like apples to oranges, but I think I had a little bit more fun in the 4xe Willys, and the controls are better. And that was the plug-in hybrid. You know, the GX 550, people love it. People love it, and it's good. Like, it's A tier. There is like the elephant in the room, though, is the Armada and the QX80. These are the Land Cruiser killers. These are the Lexus body on frame killers, and they are fantastic. So definitely consider them. I mean, if you pick a Toyota or Lexus over it, I don't blame you. It's okay. All right. If it gives you more confidence buying a Toyota or Lexus, I get it. But make sure you test out an Armada and a QX80 before. I think most people would agree they're better executed vehicles for the body on frame off-roading segment. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Land Cruiser base GX 550. It's really good. There's just, it's so expensive, and there's other things that I'd rather have for the money. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Smash the like button for Abe. He's been a trooper this video. He loves cars. He didn't want to get out of the GX we were in. He's like, okay, now that we're out of the GX, put me back in the Z. He loves cars, and he's my little pride and joy. All right. Thank you guys. Signing out. Have a great day. And stay tuned for more reviews here on the channel like that Z, and whatever else might be coming down the hatch. All right. Hopefully the RAV4 hybrids get into my press fleet soon. And I think you guys will really appreciate more in-depth tours coming from this channel. Stay locked in. If not for me, maybe in 20 years, Abe, when he takes over the channel. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and peace.